got to talk about Terry Francona, his final farewell to the Cleveland fan base yesterday. Jay, did you go to the game?
I did not, no. I worked the 5. I wanted to go. I got to tell you, when I was leaving WKYC, I specifically didn't go down 9th because I knew it was going to be crazy, because we showed in our 5 o'clock show live pictures of the line outside of Progressive Field.
And we didn't think it was going to be like that.
We did not.
Yeah.
And I have to give it up to Cleveland Guardians baseball fans, because when I was leaving, the alternative route that I takes me about 8 blocks east of 9th. And I try to sneak out of town that way.
Yeah.
I saw fans. It was 6:15. The game was already started. I saw fans walking from where I was driving, which was 5, 6, 7 blocks away from the stadium, and they hadn't even, obviously they didn't get there for the start of the game. They came out in force to support Tito. I thought the game was perfect. Bieber pitched a gem, which I'm sure management was thrilled with, because now they can trade him and get a little bit of value, because the last outing, he got shelled. He looked like Shane Bieber last night. Also, they went out to a 4-0 lead. They chipped away. Clase came in the 9th. He leads the league in saves. He leads the league in blown saves. He gets the first guy out. They get a double. Would look like a double. They called him out at second base. They reviewed it. They kept the call on the field, and I'm not sure that they got that right. And then Clase got the final out. When Tito came out to tip his cap, he wanted it to be out, tip your cap, go back.
Yeah.
Jose Ramirez blocked his path back into the dugout. He was blocking the steps to come back, so he had to stay out there and acknowledge the fans, and it was a thing of beauty. And then at one point, the whole Guardians team sort of circled that way, so he had to stay out there. It makes Terry wildly uncomfortable to be in the spotlight, but I loved every second of it, because you could tell, you could feel the love both ways.
By the way, shout out to our guy Jerry Ferrara, who threw a solid first pitch.
He did.
He was worried about it. He threw a ball, but it was a good,
it didn't
reached
bounce
home
it.
plate. He didn't bounce it.
Yeah.
It was caught.
Someone else threw out a first pitch. I don't know who it was.
Yeah.
And I was getting the raw feed from Progressive when I was on the set for the 5 yesterday, and that person bounced it. But it was shot so loosely I couldn't see who threw it. But it clearly wasn't Jerry.
But in terms of Francona, it's really weird, because I'm just so down on the Guardians right now.
I am too.
That it's hard to get emotional about Francona. I don't know what it's just, I hate the way it's ending.
Yeah, I do too. I'm emotional though. I was very emotional yesterday.
I'm like you, man.
I'm not ready for this.
To me, this is why I always be preaching to go. Like, sports is about going after every year. I know you got to have some down years, and I know every year can't be your year to win. But I want to. It irks me that he rolled out knowing he did not have the backing to go out and at least try to go for it.
And I don't know that didn't play into his decision. I don't. I mean, I don't think Jerry would ever say that. I know that when the team waved the white flag, because they could have been buyers, they could have been sellers. They were very close at the deadline. They were only a few games behind the Twins. Management decided, not this year, we're sellers. And
those weren't the only options. They could have stood pat.
They could have stood pat. I would have been happier with that.
You could have lived with that.
But to me, this is an outsider, and this is just a guess. I have no inside information that this is how it played out.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of breadcrumbs, though, that might lead you to make this assumption.
Sure.
The team the next night got no hit in Houston, and they looked like a team that wanted to be anywhere but where they were.
Yeah.
If I'm in that clubhouse, hell yeah, I'm upset. Your bosses just said, we don't believe in you, so we're going to see if we can get another middle infielder in a trade.
But didn't they
or whatever.
Didn't they owe that to him? At least owe that to him to say we're going to
let it play out.
Yeah,
you're close enough at 2 games out or whatever they were when all these trades, when the Savali trade happened. You're close enough. Add a piece. Add 2 pieces. Go all in. Here's what I hate most about it. In the previous 11 seasons before Francona became manager, this team was in the playoffs once. During his 11-year tenure, they were in the playoffs 6 times, more often than not. He had 1 sub 500 season prior to this year. He was 80-82.
Now,
if they win out this year, no matter what, they've got 3 games left. This is going to be his worst season in Cleveland. I hate that it's ending on that note, and I don't know that Terry didn't finally say, you guys aren't giving me what I need.
No.
They're outfielders. They're starting outfield. combined for 11 home runs. Bull, that's got to be a modern day.
Give us the stat you gave us yesterday in the group chat about the outfield.
3 players for the Braves have more home runs than the entire Guardians
stat
team.
I gave?
Yeah, just say, give us the stat you gave us in the group
Well,
chat.
how do I know you're talking to me? Jay was the one who was talking.
No, it was Bull's stat. Bull sent something the other day that said the Braves have 3 players.
I said, Bull, give us the stat.
That if you add up those home runs,
he said
they've hit more home runs than the entire Guardians
The
team.
top 3 home run hitters on the Braves have more home runs than every single player that stays.
What you saying is left fielder more than our 3 outfielders, center fielder.
No, they're not all outfielders.
No,
the
I'm
Braves'
saying
top 3 home run hitters.
Acuna Jr., Matt Olson, and I can't remember.
Their third baseman.
Oh, and Austin Riley.
Austin Riley.
Those 3 guys on the Braves,
if you add up their home runs,
have hit more home runs combined than every player on the Guardians combined.
And Bull,
in
something
a
hit me
third of the
yesterday.
plate appearances.
Will Benson came up yesterday.
Yeah.
And I looked at his stats, and I knew he was having a pretty good year.
Yeah.
This was a guy, I think, was he a first-round draft pick?
He was.
The Guardians just almost surprisingly gave up on him. They flashed his stats on the screen yesterday. He's got 11 home runs. He's got as many home runs as our entire starting out. No, it's not a ton, but Bull, he's hit as many home runs as our starting outfield.
Well, Nolan
combined.
Jones has hit 19 home runs this year.
And he's hitting for average, too.
Yes.
These are 2 guys that the Indians drafted
Gave away.
highly that they just gave away.
And it wasn't like they came out of nowhere. They were both big-time prospects.
Yes, but they on both of those guys, I was like, wow, they're giving up on these guys already?
Right.
Do you know what the most baffling stat when I look at the Guardians' offensive numbers are this year? Jose Ramirez played in 153 games.
Right.
He has 600 plate appearances. He's hitting 280 and his 80 RBIs.
What's baffling about that?
Ain't nobody on the
No one's on base for him to hit
Nobody
in.
on the base.
He's
I
having
see what you're saying.
Ain't nobody on
Yeah,
the pond.
It is
what you're
hard
saying.
to believe that he's played 153 games. The dude's an RBI machine. He's hit
That's
170 hits, and just
Now,
no one's on
but
base
look
for
at
him.
Josh
Had
Naylor.
a great season,
But
though.
no, it's not a great season. Look at Josh Naylor.
Naylor has 97 RBIs in 118 games.
Look at exactly. Look at the time that he has missed. And by the way, I want to give Josh Naylor credit because last year,
every year he had not hit
every
lefties.
year
Yeah.
he had not hit. Now he's young. He's 26 years old. We had said this guy's career is never going to be what it can be because he is a liability in the lineup against left-handed pitching.
Right.
He hit below 200 last year. In the offseason, he worked on that and worked on that and worked on that. And this year, if I'm not mistaken, he's hitting 300 against left-handed pitching this year. That is a testament to how hard this guy works and how much talent he has. Guys, he's 26. He is a superstar in my mind.
Here's the most underrated story in the game right now. We've all looked at the Guardians as the most stable. You've been able to do that because you had Tito at the top of at the dugout steps. Now you're counting on the front office and a question mark on the bench to figure out.
And they got to
where
go
this
outside the organization,
goes.
in my opinion.
I think they will. Sandy's been with the organization forever. Sandy Alomar Jr., he's the first base coach. Personally, I'd love to see him get a try. I really do. He's been loyal to this team. He's had opportunities, I'm sure, to go elsewhere and, if not manage, coach. I'm not sure he's going to get it because I think if he was the guy, they would have already made that announcement or it would come this weekend.
I think this is the first time, at least since I've been here in 2011, that the Guardians are in the worst shape of the 3 organizations.